Yes, good afternoon, everybody. You are welcome to the EDU-P Hangout Teacher Training for January. And my name is Blessing Apum, and I'm the founder of the EDU-P Hangout platforms. And today we are going to be having our teacher training program, the very first one in the year 2025. And I'm very delighted to have you here with us. And I am also grateful for having our presenters who will be taking us through different sessions today. And this is the very first session for today. We're going to be having our sessions in two parts. The first one starts about now and will last for 2 hours. Then we go on a break and we come back after 2 hours for the evening session. So, our very first presenter for today is here, and I'm going to be reading her bio now. Her name is Elizabeth Ogbewele, and she is a professional educator and a teacher trainer based in Nigeria. She is a passionate educator with 23 years of teaching experience and presently a school leader. She is the founder of G Academy, a platform focused on providing Christian and moral lessons for children. Elizabeth is passionate about equipping teachers and learners with the 21st century skills for lifelong learning. She has worked in various top-notch international schools in Lagos, Nigeria, and interestingly, she has impacted young learners who have authored their own storybooks. Also, Elizabeth has created a digital book, which you can find on Amazon. And we are so happy to see her here with us, to have her here with us today. And she will be talking about tips for teaching creative writing and comprehension skills. For young learners, and not just for young learners, even for children in the secondary schools. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my delight, it's my great pleasure to present to you today Elizabeth Uberili. Over to you, Elizabeth. How are you today?
Good afternoon. I'm very fine. Thank you, Mrs. Apple. Good afternoon to everybody. Can we all hear? I just want to be sure that I'm communicating. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we
Okay.
can hear you loud
So
and
you're
clear.
welcome to the first session of this transformational program. I'm sure we are all here expectant and we're going to gain something. So for the first session here, I've been assigned an interesting topic, and it's about how to teach comprehension and creative writing skills. Teaching and writing comprehension and creative writing skills. So, but in the next 1 or 2 minutes, I would like you to just type in the comment section your expectation, what you expect to get from this training before we start.
Okay, I'm not seeing any comments yet. So
Just
maybe to
one or
save
two
our time.
comments, what you expect.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure everybody is excited to be here. And okay, so somebody says most definitely a way of upgrading comprehension lessons. Comprehension should be fun and hence it should be interesting. And Tushali says steps and strategies to simplify comprehension and creative writing. So I have those two comments for you now. So if we can just
Okay,
go ahead.
okay. So thank you very much. And I know that okay, very, very good. The way to upgrade comprehension lessons should be fun. Hence, okay, thank you so much. And I by God's grace, I know that your expectations will be met. Okay, so not to waste much more time. Okay, so we're starting with the comprehension aspect of this training.
Please, can you see my slide? Sorry, your slide. I'm projecting your slide. Can you see it?
Yes, I can
Okay.
see it. So the first question I have here on my slide, of course, if you're talking about comprehension, we need to know the meaning. When we talk about comprehension, and we're looking at the aspects of reading comprehension, of course, it's a kind of one of the strands of the literacy, in literacy, for those who, of course, I know most of us here teach literacy, and if you don't teach literacy, you get one or two, because you might have an opportunity to teach it someday somewhere. Okay, so comprehension has to do with understanding, interpreting, and analyzing written text. Now, understanding means you have a good knowledge of what the text talks about. A lot of sentences put together, of course, with a motive. That's something to a goal to achieve. A skill to be learned from it. There are a lot of comprehension skills. Okay, so when you talk about understanding, interpreting, analyzing written text, that's what comprehension is about. Interpreting is whatever is written on the text. At the end of the day, you break down sentence by sentence, line by line, paragraph by paragraph, as the children get to read and they get the meaning, the message from it. Analyzing it, okay, probably what's the main idea, probably if it's a story text, or who are the characters, the setting, problem in the story, how it was, and all that. So comprehension has a lot to do, and it involves a lot of making conclusions, deductions, even so there are a lot of skills to be learned in comprehension, and reading skill as well, because your learners get to read the text. Okay, so comprehension is not just about, most teachers just think you just open the text and start reading. No, you don't just open the text and start reading. You don't just open the comprehension text and start reading. There are one or two things you need to do before you start reading a comprehension text. There are one or two things you need to do. So Mrs. Apple will drop one or two resources we need for this training. And the one on comprehension, I'm sure if she has not dropped it, she will drop it very soon, because we also need to look at it as I explain. So before reading a comprehension text, when I say comprehension text, I know most of us understand what I'm talking about. We have textbooks in our various schools, or if you don't have a textbook, you maybe got a comprehension worksheet that you're using for a learner, for the comprehension lesson at a particular time. So now when you get a comprehension text to teach the learner, don't just start reading. First of all, you need to, most times they come with pictures. I don't know if anybody, most times they come with pictures. Most times the comprehension, they come with pictures. So we need to ensure that we ask them to make a prediction. Tell them to make a prediction. Okay, looking at the picture, what do you think this text, or what do you think this text is about? Ask them a lot of questions. Ask your learners a lot of questions. Like, look at the picture. What do you think this text is about? Something like that. Okay, so let them predict. Let them say, okay, I can see in the picture, okay, maybe something, I can see maybe if it's a boy looking scared, oh, somebody is looking scared in the picture. Okay, I think this text will be talking about maybe, just, an emotion that shows fear or something. First of all, analyze the picture, okay? Let them talk. Let them tell you what they think the text will be focused on from the picture, from the picture. So before you read, okay, so they would have done that. Then in the course of the reading, they might adjust their prediction, because some might say something from the look of the picture, but that might not be the exact meaning. So every picture on the text, try to, like, use it to make a prediction of what you think the text will be about. Okay, and you can let them ask questions. You can do this in a few minutes. I know our lessons are about 40 minutes. If it's so long, 1 hour, not all of us usually have a 1 hour lesson. So just what I'm talking about, just do it in a jiffy. Okay, so ask them, what do they expect from the text? So if you have seen a picture of somebody scared, what do you expect? They tell you, okay, maybe if it's a picture of a boy, maybe there's a boy in the picture, maybe somebody frightened him or is in a place where it's scary. No, they will just express themselves to you. So after you have analyzed, something like that, made a like quick prediction, then engage the learners in active reading. Now, when you're teaching comprehension, you the teacher shouldn't be the one reading the text to the children. You shouldn't be now. Most times the text comes in like paragraphs. Okay, so they come in paragraphs. So you should probably assign, okay, this person take, and if you have a very large class, each child may not be able to read a whole paragraph. So you can just assign it in such a way that almost every child, or every child, if possible, for every child has something to read, even though it's just one sentence. You understand? When someone will say, okay, hold on. And it also helps them to be at alert, because if a child knows you be calling him or her to read next, they'll be alert. You let them know. I won't tell you where the other person has stopped. You read from there. So you even know those who are following the reading and those who are not following the reading. So of course, the children have already asked you one or two questions, based on the predictions you made from the beginning before you started reading. So as they're reading you can like put up one or two of those questions down, on the board as text, or you're reading the text, reading it as active reading going on in the class. Some of those questions will be answered, of course. So when you come across the answers to such questions the child has already asked, of course, that answer can be trashed out. Okay? So, and most of our reading comprehension texts already have questions that come with them. So another thing I would suggest is that even before you start reading the main text, let everybody quickly go through the question area. Just go through quickly to just have something at the back. So as you are reading, even some of the answers to those questions are already popping up. You shouldn't already find answers to the question. So like I said, it's not as if you are answering the question before you start reading. No. They should just go through, have an idea. Okay, this is what we're expecting from this um from this from this text. Okay. So another thing is there are different types of questions. There are different types of questions we encounter in comprehension text. So after the reading, of course, you can see that a lot of things will have already gone on in the course of the reading. Those predictions, you already started checking them up. Are the predictions correct? Remember, you can adjust predictions in the course of the reading. Okay, the question the children have already asked, they're already finding some answers to them already, even before the main question from the comprehension text. All right, now, and then some comprehension texts usually have keywords. Keywords are lighted on them already. Okay, so, and some comprehension texts come with glossary of those keywords. That's meaning of those keywords, not all. Now, either after the predictions and children answer questions, before they start the active reading, try to get those keywords, those words you think would be difficult words for the children to pronounce. Probably they don't know the meaning. If you are a teacher using a text that doesn't have the glossary already on the reading text, so you have to, do some background work. You understand? Those likely words, the children will tell you they don't know the meaning, they can't pronounce. You must find out the meaning, right pronunciation of those words before the class. Now, while in the classroom, before you start reading, and you tell the children to quickly do a take it quickly on the text, underline those words, those words that seem ambiguous, difficult to pronounce, probably they don't understand. Of course, in the class, you can have a dictionary where they quickly check up the meaning of those words. If your text does not have a glossary of keywords highlighted with the meaning, because these words will also help them understand the text as they read. Okay, so all these are parts of the active reading, learners active reading. Okay, so they get the meaning of those keywords, so as they read, it helps their understanding of the text better. Okay, so I also want to say that when they're done with the reading and all that, and their predictions are, of course, they would have known their predictions were right or wrong, and then the questions they asked from the beginning, I'm sure most of them would have got the answers to them, which, as they are reading, like I said, try to jot down their questions on, maybe on the board, the whiteboard, or whichever kind of board you use, and then those would have been answered. So um another thing is now, you can now go over to the questions. Most comprehension texts come with questions, and like I said, there are different types of questions. Some questions are factual, they help you get facts from the comprehension text, and those are questions that come with what. They ask questions like what, who, where. Those are the kind of questions that referred to as factual questions. We refer to them as factual questions. Okay, so maybe what is the what's the woman doing in the, probably there's a woman in the story, probably she's in her house, something like that, and you ask what is the woman doing in the story, in the house. You understand? Maybe there's a dog, maybe in the story, who strayed away, and you say, where did the dog go to? Those kind of questions. This was one now example for very young learners. Then like I said, other questions like the inferential ones, those ones involve you thinking. Sometimes not all the questions have just the direct answer, in the text. Some of them, when you after reading, you just have to like make a deduction. What do you think? You understand? Why? Okay, inferential question. It says why. So now you're asking for a reason. Yes, some of the reasons sometimes might be in the question, directly in the text. Go look for. Now, depends on the kind of question. If you can get the keyword of the question and go look for that keyword of the question from the text. This part of the active, making the lesson active. So in case maybe the children don't know how to go find the answer, get the keyword from the question, go to the text and look for that, where that keyword, sentences, or no, the area where that keyword is being mentioned. So by the time they read through, they can guess the reason why. And then, like I said, sometimes the reason why might not, or the reason might not be, directly in the text. So they have to infer. They have to just write what they think. Okay. So when you hear something like why, the person that begins with why or how did the dog stray into the bush? Something like that. You understand? So those kind of questions are inferential questions. While some are evaluative, maybe a kind of phrase or a proverb or something stated in the question. Not, for example, it says, not all that glitters is gold, for example. Is what does it mean? So not all that glitters is gold in the, maybe it's a phrase or something or a sentence just put in the text. The direct answer may not be in the text, but now from what they have read from the text and whatever relates to something, like the children can express themselves and say, the meaning in their own words. So not every time you expect a child to, for this kind of question, you don't expect a child to write an answer that is word for word from the text. Okay. So, and
Okay,
another
just a
thing we
minute.
can also,
Sorry, just a minute. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it's from my end, but if you can just
okay,
increase the volume a little bit so it can be a bit louder and more audible for us. Yeah, can
Okay.
just
Can you hear me
yes,
better now?
yes, better, better,
Can you
please.
hear me
Thank
better now?
Yes, it's better now.
So I started talking about types of questions, the factual
Yes,
questions, differential evaluative questions. Okay. Like I also have on the slide, generate answers to questions while reading. So you can do this if you have already, before you started the active reading, quickly gone through the questions. I told you, you can let the children quickly go through the question before you start reading. So they somehow it's giving them a background knowledge of what they're expecting in the reading, or even from the questions they have already asked, from probably the graphs, the pictures, things they've seen on the text. Okay. So um that trashes the aspects of, you know, the types of the questions, and now when you know the types of questions, now it will now give an idea of how to answer them. Like I said, not all questions you just get the meaning verbatim. So the ones where you need to infer, you need to just write what you think. You need to just explain in your words. You understand? You have to teach the children about different types of questions. Let them know. So before you even start, when your children come into the class, maybe at the beginning of the term, before you start the comprehension, teaching, you have to, mention this, facts like these types of questions. When you see this question, this is what you're, expected to do and all that. And try to encourage the children to answer questions in simple sentences. For example, where is the dog? I'm using a very simple example, as simple as possible, because I don't know the levels of learners we all teach. But just whatever example I'm using, incorporate it to meet the level of the standard of the learners you teach. Okay, where is the dog, for example? And a child writes under the table. Now, under the table is not a complete sentence. Try to encourage them to say the dog, or you say it is under the table. you know so let them, it's also part of the comprehension skill too, being able to write simple correct sentences, and they have the pen to do that. When they're answering, it can be when you have to write the answers, or even answer it orally to you. So even at the end of the reading and all that, you can also encourage the children to summarize the text to you in one or two sentences. Just say what this text is about. So there are a lot of things you can do with a comprehension text. The comprehension text is not just you open it, you just start reading. After that, you answer the questions. No, you can apply other things, as I know I've been enlightened. See the skill of prediction I've said from the beginning. The children can answer the questions. Active reading, every child gets to read at least a sentence in the text, and it also helps keep them alert. When after a child reads, the other one knows his next, you will make sure that he's following the reading. Okay. And like I said, um yes, so summarize, you can tell them to tell you one or two things, so they pick the main fact, whatever it is, in this key points. So this skill is they develop this skill of identifying the main ideas or the key points in a text. Okay. So um most comprehension texts come with questions alongside, of the main information in that particular text. So that helps the learner to understand, get, some information from the text. Okay. So if there are complex sentences in the text, you know that as the learners read, they will not understand. You as a teacher, you should break it down for them. Let them know. Probably there's like maybe for higher learners, an idiom, a proverb, or something you think they will not be able to understand. But before you break it down for them, ask them. Except you can't get a response, and you have to break it down so that they'll get to understand the information from that text. Okay. And don't forget, from the beginning I said, if you don't have a glossary on your comprehension text, like highlight keywords and the meaning, you should have done those to that, picking the difficult words, so as the children read, it will help, and their meaning, tell them the meaning to help them understand. Okay. So, and so I think I'm able to talk, reasonably on that. So there are different types of comprehension questions. So the factual ones, I mentioned the inferential ones, main idea questions. So most comprehension texts sometimes have a focus. Some comprehension texts, when you read them, they focus on the main idea. Some highlight mostly the cause and effect of the question. I mean the questions of the comprehension that follows the comprehension text highlight mostly the cause and effects of the things that some explains the author's why did the author write the text. I mean, I'm talking explaining still more talking more about questions. So you see, comprehension has to do with understanding the text. If the children do not understand the text, they cannot answer the question. So on your own, you must have done everything to make sure the text is well understood by the learners. Then it will enable them answer the comprehension question. So at the beginning of the term, when children come to your class, you must have done a little analysis on teaching them one or two of these skills, types of questions, how to answer them. Let the children know that it's not all the answers you get verbatim from the text. So the ones you need to infer, the ones you need to evaluate, you need to write what you think, so that when it's time for them to after reading the question to answer, it will not be difficult for them or confusing. Okay, so they are very, very important pillars in as elements. Even in the reading, sometimes children can't pronounce some words. You need to apply the skill of phonics. That's as an English language teacher, you must have a knowledge of phonics. You understand? Sometimes I do that. My children are reading to me, there's a words that they can't pronounce. So I have to break it down into the sound, then we blend and they say the word. So comprehension has all those kind of skills are embedded in comprehension. Using the glossary or find the meaning of the words improves their vocabulary skill. As they read, they get fluent, okay, and they answer the question. It shows how well they have understood the idea or skill you are picking up from that comprehension text, whether it's trying to and find out the author's purpose, whether it's trying to some comprehension text questions help children to make predictions. You understand? Whether the text is trying to explain point of view, perspective, or wants to find out the perspective of the learner, the person reading the text. So all those things come into the and please the fluency part and make sure you engage all the learner when they read. Don't Sometimes teachers find it easy, either they read themselves or they just tell the smart learner that but I'm leaving behind those the up and coming ones. I don't think that should be a good practice because it's also an opportunity to work on the reading skill of the learners. Okay, so I don't know if anyone has a question. I think I have been able to exhaust the major things that relates to the teaching skill for comprehension. If you have any question about teaching comprehension from what I've said, so you can drop it in the chat area in the next 1 or 2 minutes before we move to the creative aspect. So Mrs. Epon, the comprehension text, I don't know if you have dropped it in the group. I'm not there yet. So does anybody have any question on them, or you want to speak out? If you don't want to drop it in the chat box on comprehension, because I'm moving over to creative writing skill, teaching creative writing skill.
I have. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam.
Thank you for your presentation. Actually, it is not a question, but my only two contribution.
Okay.
I'd like to say that also in the course of teaching comprehension, sometimes we could use that as an opportunity to teach spellings. Let's
Yes.
say, for example, the students read a given passage, and after the passage is being read, the student could be asked to close their books and then spell certain words which they have just read. And in addition to that, apart from the words that they'll be spelling, we could also see use comprehension again to maybe teach the different word class of different words. So that's my little contribution. Thank you very much, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Ma. You're very correct. You're very correct. So you can use it to teach, yes. That's yes, you can use it to teach the word class. So now it depends on the level of learners you're teaching. So you know the word class they've been exposed to. So you can tell them maybe, okay, let's look at it, underline the nouns. Maybe if you have different colors of pens in the classroom, underline the nouns with the blue pen or like I don't know, blue pen, something like that. If you know you have touched the doing words verbs, can you identify the verbs? Something like that. So it's not it depends on the if it's at the beginning of the term, you have not covered a particular word class, the children cannot identify such. You won't, but whatever you can use to reinforce their grammar skills. Yes, you can do that. Then spellings, yes, you can use to reinforce spelling. And like I've said during the training, when I said sometimes they encounter difficult words, you can use the skill of phonics to help the children pronounce those words. Yes, spellings. You can pick words um like those keywords. Pick them during now. I'm sure you also have a different lesson or class for spelling. That's the reason I didn't mention that. Like for example, I have a different lesson for spelling, of which I can pick words from the comprehension text and use it at that time. And then, so if you know you have enough time, you can extend your comprehension lesson to as many things as possible. But if at that time you don't have the enough time to, pick out words and tell children to spell things, you can just align those words. And then when it's the next time for your spelling lesson, you can, you know, you can use those words to enforce spelling. Let the children practice. So thank you very much, ma'am. So can we move on? Or does anybody have any question I've not answered? Let me check the chat box.
Yes, thank you so much, Elizabeth. Sorry, I had the network interruption, but I just joined back. I think I'm doing your
Okay,
screen.
no problem.
Yes, I'm moving
So
fast now to writing.
okay, so I'm trying to check. I think one of us have dropped some questions in the
Okay,
chat box.
but can we take the questions at the
So I'm
end,
taking it
right?
now.
Okay, you
So
want
it
to take it
says
now?
at primary level, is it a must for pupils to make sentences while answering? Yes, please let them not make short sentence like it in the for example, I gave an example. For example, if the dog in the comprehension text, the dog was hiding beneath the table. And there's a question saying where was the dog hiding? You shouldn't say beneath the table. That's not a complete sentence. Beneath the table. Let the children understand what a sentence is. It has a subject, it has the predicate area where there's a verb and an object within the action. So the child should be able to say the dog is beneath the table or it is in the table. And sorry, it's under the table. So I think it's a very, very important thing we need to take note of. It's also builds their communication skills. When you ask someone a question, especially you to make a complete, simple sentence, not beneath the table. I'm just giving an example. So I hope I answered that question. He said, I would like more clarification on what inference in comprehension is. What inference in comprehension is. Okay. So um in the course of explaining inferential questions explain the reason for something. How did something come about? So in that case, the child or the teacher is expected that information, or the question should be focused on why something has happened, the cause and the effect of something, or explaining how something has happened. So anything inferential has to do with explain the reason for something. Okay, explain how something has. So inferential question might not, sometimes you might not get the question just directly from the text. It can be from your perspective, the learner's perspective or the reader's perspective. So when marking the answers to the passage, can the teacher give same mark for those making sense and the ones that do not make sense? Okay, now what I would say is this. I think that for those not making complete sentences, you should call their attention to it. That is why before you start teaching comprehension, don't just from the first day or in a new term or new session. You have to teach the children the skills of what you expect from them when they answer questions. Let them know when you want to answer a question, this is what I expect from you. Complete full sentence. Complete full, something else. So I would say at the beginning, those ones not answering the full sentence, full sentences, call their attention to it. Is except they still default. You can say let them know, oh, you're getting a half of the mark because the sentence is not complete. Them do the correction. So so I think I've answered most of the questions from that angle of comprehension. Now let's move on because of my time is limited. So we're
Yes, because
moving
we
on.
have less than 20 minutes to end this
Yes.
first
I'm moving
session.
on to creative writing, and I'll be very fast. Ms. Epum, do they have the comprehension sheet on the group so that they can have a look at that comprehension? I have a comprehension templates. You can look at it. I said from while I was teaching comprehension, you can look at the passage, the picture on the text first. Let the children predict and analyze and ask questions about it before you start reading. So you see those pictures on the comprehension text, and then you can understand what I mean. Very bright pictures that can pass so much information to the learners even before you start reading. So now over to creative writing. Okay, now on the screen, something is projecting. It says prediction. So this is an example of a worksheet you can use when you want children to predict or make inferences on based on maybe one or two questions from text. So they can use graphic. These are graphic organizers. You can use it to help them make predictions, and then you compare it to the actual information from the text and something like that. So for creative writing, creative writing has to do with expression of imagination, expression of self-expression, critical thinking. It's something that has to be planned. Okay, it has to be planned. You don't just start writing creative writing. If you have a topic, maybe if it's a story you want to write, for example, don't just start writing the story. You must have made a plan for the story. If it is a report you want to write, you write some important details. If it's anything you want to write, you must have you have a plan. Now the plan can be you can just do something, draw some what do you call it, story maps on the board, or if you have in form of a worksheet where children can write key facts that will be used in the writing. Are we following? Okay, so creative writing helps the learners to express their thoughts, express their thinking. Okay, so we must provide structure to creative writing when while teaching the learners. You must provide your incentive that for every text. First of all, you have to create a safe, supportive environment where the learners will feel at ease. Okay, they feel at ease to write, they feel at ease to think. So your environment is very important at the time you're teaching creative writing. It shouldn't be a noisy environment or an environment that is not conducive for learning or for teaching. It should be an environment. Now I'm talking about environment, also the environment the teacher creates too. Let the children be free to be open-minded, express themselves. And when they do that, give them positive feedback, encouragement, for every efforts they make. And when they make mistakes, let them know it's part of learning, and you put them in the right um, path, what you expect from them. Okay, so creative writing works well in a supportive environment. Okay, so I'm just giving us some tips to encourage the writing, before I go further. So also, encouraging children to write things daily. Write things they can just, okay, maybe they've just returned, it's a new week. Just write some sentence about your weekend. Just don't, just let them express themselves in their own way. Things like that. Any current, maybe there's a program that's taking place in school. Just let them write just some sentences, some things, things about it. You know, something that prompts them to write, put down sentence together, recall events. Be creative, be able to express themselves. You need to do things like that. It can be at their spare time. Maybe a child has finished their work on in literacy or something like that, and then you just want to engage the child, or probably for homework or something. You make sure they have something to write, free writing daily. You understand? Then when you want to teach creative writing, for example, maybe you want to teach let me use instructions, for example. Give the children prompts. Can be even writing a story, give them prompts too. But before the prompt, before I move forward, I would say that for every type of writing you want to write, explain what it is to the children. Go make your research. Tell them the features of that writing. For example, if the child is to write a story, let them know the features of writing a story. Let them know that a story. Now, this for more advanced learners. For younger learners, can just make them express themselves in sentences. Like maybe a child 4, 5 years, 6, just put down their thoughts in sentences while writing a story. For advanced learners, maybe those are in the year 3, 4 upper school, like KS2 classes. You can start telling them, more features. Their writing has to be in paragraphs. Maybe when they need, which of the writing they need to, write in past tense, use describing words, things like that. Go online, find out the features of whatever you are writing, the type of writing you are writing per time. Okay, you must have explained that to the children before, and then if there's a format for the writing to take, like writing instructions, you don't just write it like they're writing a story, or the make sure they have a title. Writing instructions, you need to first of all state what you need, like ingredients or the materials. Then after that, steps, like what to do. You must have, if you, I don't know, depends on the kind of class you use. If you have a class where you can project something, or you can provide a templates of worksheets on their table that have so for example, what I've just said, or if it's a whiteboard, a blackboard, whatever your material you have, improvise with the material you have. Just put it out on the board. Let you see what you expect from them. For example, if I'm talking about instructions, and you want to write instruction on how to prepare sandwich. You must have discussed about writing about sandwiches with them. Okay, talk about it. They see pictures of the items and all that and all that. You can even demonstrate it in the class. Bring the materials they need, okay, and then demonstrate it in the class. Like you would have given them a very, very solid background of what they need before they start writing. So with that, when you now, okay, and then you can model something for them on the board. You can model an example of what you want them to write on the board, or your whiteboard, your interactive board, whatever you have. Okay, you've written inside how to make sandwich, what you need. Of course, you have exemplified it, demonstrated in class. You pick the items one after the other and list them. Then you go to the parts that had the subheading part that says these are the steps of what to do, and you list them one by one. Then now you must have gone explain the features of that writing instruction text to the children. Okay, so they know that they're using action words to begin each sentence. I know what they expect. With that, they'll be able to write. And for example, the ones that writing that involves maybe writing stories, you can write prompts. You can put maybe starters, how to start. in any way, you can either you want them to write it on a worksheet paper, or probably it's the exercise book they have to write. You can project the starter for them to use or write it on the board, so it helps them know how to start. But remember, you must have explained all the features of whatever writing you want them to write, be it a report, be it a story, a letter writing. They have an idea of what is, they are expected to do. Okay, so now when you have given them enough background information, then they write. They can finish the plan. You understand? Even when they finish the plan, you understand, make a draft of the writing. You can encourage something called peer review. Peer review through the exchange with a friend. You understand? Pair activity can be encouraged. So that person reads what they have drafted, and they read what the other person has drafted. And from what you have explained to them about the text, they get to correct each other's work, highlight what is right or what is expected. With that, even before the teacher, does any final work marking on their work, it also helps the children to learn better. They learn from each other's mistakes. They know the right thing, and and of course, all this based on still under the children's the teacher's guidance. Sorry. Okay. So focus on the writing process. Make sure you follow up what the children are writing. So as you're writing, you're going around, you're seeing what they are doing. So um so that by the end of the day, all you expect from their writing is what you get. They are able to express with their own creative style. Sometimes don't like box them to a corner and make them always like, okay, probably you have given a model, like probably if it's a story, you have written a story and you want them to do exactly what you have done. No, you have to let them be free to express things in their own way too as well. You understand? What I mean is the way you have started. For example, like I said, give starters. Sometimes my children will tell me they have their own starter. They will not want to use my own starter because they've thought, of course, I've done my background work, told them what is expected for that particular text I'm working with. And I'll say, you're free, use your own starter. I won't say, no, 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 you must use my own, the way I've started it. No. And sometimes I find that they come up with something very nice. Very nice. So what I mean is let the learning environment be flexible. Okay. Let it be flexible enough for the children. So while the writing process is going on, just make sure supervise them. Okay. Every tool they need to be inspired. If you have pictures, like anything while they are writing to inspire them, maybe keywords, anything that will inspire them while they are writing, make sure it's around the classrooms. Okay. So whatever text they're writing on, reports, story writing, information text, please make sure these children know what to do before. And then I want to say that it depends. Well, it depends on the kind of text you use for literacy in your school. But you know, like the type of text I use, whatever is to be taught, the literacy strands are always like related. Whatever will be focused on in creative writing, the comprehension text has already introduced a template, a format of it. For example, if I'm teaching letter writing, the comprehension text that will be read that week has already brought out whatever the student will be answering question on in form of a letter. So somehow a ready-made template is there for me. You understand? Some good literacy text present their, their is presented in that manner. So you can take advantage of such, you understand? And even the vocabulary for the week, the spelling for the week, all those things that have been taught, you know, help to boost up the strength of the children in their writing during creative writing. You understand? Because if you teach creative writing, you need to break down this learning per week into the various strands. And I advise that creative writing should come like the last. You should have touched your comprehension, vocabulary, punctuation, spelling, all that. because those things help to build a good foundation for writing skill when it's now time for creative writing. So if you text the like textbook you use in your school is not patterned to that, as a teacher, you need to look at your, look at what you do and try to see if you can organize it in such a way that your creative writing text should not be just far away from what the other literacy strands for the week has introduced or taught the children. Okay, so encourage the learners to, I've said that before, make your writing plan first. So they would have done writing workshop in the sense that they have a pen to exchange maybe with a partner, check the draft is correct and all that. They know, already know, have a good knowledge of the format you expect them to write. Even you, the teacher, check whatever analysis they've done with their partners, you know, excuse me, before the main writing comes in. So in that case, they would have received a constructive feedback, you know, got some corrections, they would have learned one or two new ideas, even in the classroom, based on the writing. And by the time they're writing the main writing, you'll get a fantastic job from them. So for those who teach higher learners, okay, so um they can also use literary devices in their writing. Like maybe if they're writing a story, a recount, or something. Like literary devices they've learned, such as similes, personification, they can include in their writing. Also, things they can use things like direct speeches in their writing. Let's say they're writing a story to encourage imagery to help them that to encourage and project dialogue as well. Maybe in a story, a child is writing about maybe visit to the park, and so he's trying to um right? And probably John had an experience with his friends. Probably at the park, they had the basketball court area where they were playing. Probably as John threw the ball, the other friend shouted, "Yay! Oh wow, that's great! It's gone into the net or something like that." So such kind of sentences should be projected in form of direct speeches with those speech marks. It just makes writing interesting to the learners. Okay, so we encourage them to write with passion, be free to express themselves. When in the writing, they should not just write something short. Use describing words to expatiate the sentence, express emotion. If there's someone who is afraid, instead of saying just afraid, oh, he stood, you know, shivering with the eyes popped out, things like that. I'm saying this for older learners, they're able to release more of what I've just said. For younger learners, just let them express themselves in simple sentences as much as they can. Okay, so like I said, you can give them starters to help them start up and keep going. Okay, and then if the text you are writing, maybe it's a fiction text storytelling, you should be able to describe their characters well. Use a lot of, in that case, you must have taught in your grammar lesson either that week or before a lot of describing words so that they want to use it to describe the character and probably what is going on in the story. Okay, so like I've said before, they should use a lot of dialogues. That's if you're writing a story. So it now depends on the kind of text, the type of writing you are doing per week. For example, if you're writing an instruction, how to make something, how to something, you will not be using so much of those metaphors, similes, direct. You will not use all those things. So it's the type of writing maybe you are doing. You need to go know the features, what the children should focus on. Explain it to them first before they start anything about that writing. And don't forget, there should be a plan or a draft. Okay, highlight the main points of what you'll be using in the main writing. You can put in form of a graph, story map, you can put in form of that, something like that on the board, of course. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I think it's time for questions. I think you've exhausted your
Yes. Time
slides.
for
And
questions, I'm done. So I was just trying to summarize. So based on what I've
okay.
said, you should don't forget to create a supportive environment. Very important. Okay, let them be free to make mistakes. You correct them in the writing process. At the end of the day, you achieve some great. Do you have questions? You can either put in the chat box or signify, ask your questions.
Mm,
So let
wow.
me go to the chat box to see if there are questions there.
No, I don't have any question there now. Wow, it's been a very fantastic presentation. We've learned a lot, a whole lot, from comprehension skills, making predictions, inferences, engaging our learners, to be more tactful, think creatively as well, critical thinking as well. A lot of skills that we have been able to learn today, and even going to into creative writing as well. We've been able to see different strategies, to make our learners become better writers, become more articulate and become more descriptive, you know, in their creative writing skills. Thank you so very much. I've also shared some of the materials you sent to the chat, and I hope these will inspire ideas in some of the teachers here. Okay, I have shared the EDU-P Hangouts link in the chat earlier on. So if you've not joined the group before now, you can just click on that link to join. Maybe if you have questions in the future, you can always reach out. Elizabeth is on that platform, and she will be happy to answer your questions, I'm sure. Thank you very much, so much.
You're
Um,
welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a great delight. It's a great pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Yes. Okay, so we are not yet done. We still have one more presenter before this first session wraps up in about 1 hour. Um, Bisilola is here. Bisilola, are you here? Like, I think I saw you
Yes,
join.
I am. Good
Wow.
afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. It's good to see you, and it's good to have you join. I'm just going to see if I can make you a co host so that you are able to share your slide. Okay, so what it's showing me now is to make you a host. Okay, if I make you a host, that means you are going to be in charge of admitting people. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm just going to change the setting to allow multiple participants to share their screen. Okay, so I've just changed that setting. So yes, Bisilola is here, and I'm so happy, and I'm sure that you all will be so happy because she'll be taking us on something that we all will find really helpful to our career and even to our financial growth. I mean, she will be taking us on how to grow your income through online teaching opportunities. I've heard a lot of teachers complain about low income, insufficient income, but this is Bisilola. She is a teacher just like you and I, and she has also delved into online teaching, not just the regular face to face. So she's going to be sharing a lot of things with us today, and I will encourage you to please be attentive to her. So now I would just like to quickly read Bisilola's bio before I hand over to her. Yes, so Bisilola Ajala is a senior education officer with Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, an experienced educationist driven by a profound belief in the transformative power of learning. Over the past decade, she has dedicated herself to the field of education, honing skills, honing her skills and insights to create meaningful and impactful learning experiences. Her journey in education began with a simple yet profound realization that education is the key to unlocking human potential. This belief has guided her through various roles in teaching, curriculum development, and educational leadership, shaping her approach to education as a tool for empowerment and change. Currently, her focus is on leveraging the online space to mentor and guide individuals in effective teaching practices. In today's digital age, the opportunities for learning are endless, and she is passionate about helping others harness these opportunities to create engaging and enriching learning experiences. Beyond her professional endeavors, she is deeply committed to community development and social change. She believes that education is not just about acquiring knowledge, but also about fostering empathy, compassion, and a sense of responsibility towards others. In all aspects of her life, she strives to embody these values and inspire others to do the same. She's excited about the possibilities that lie ahead and look forward to continuing her journey of learning, growth, and impact. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so delighted to introduce to you today Bisilola Ajala, who will be taking us in this next session. Thank you. Over to you, BC.
Thank you so much for the warm reception. And thank you so much. I can see the chats. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much for welcoming me warmly. So today I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'm going to be sharing experience of over 13 years with you in just 1 hour. I don't know how we're going to do that, but in the online space, I've started teaching online since the year 2020 as a result of COVID. I think COVID was a blessing to us in Nigeria because it made us to see what we can do with the internet. So let's dive in. Okay, so I don't know if you're seeing my slide, if you're seeing my screen. I don't know if it's good enough. Is it good
Yeah, I can
enough?
see it. Can you put it on slideshow so that it's larger? I can see
All
it.
right, okay. Is this good?
Okay, it's okay. It's still okay. I was thinking about slideshow, but it's fine. Let's just go ahead. We can
Yes,
see
it's
it.
on slideshow.
Okay. It hasn't changed here, but you can go ahead.
All right, probably it's the network then. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm going to be starting with maximizing our earning potential, okay, and the career pathways and opportunities that we can find in education. Now, you need to understand the field of education, okay? So the highlights, you're going to understand your field. We're going to look at the career pathways and opportunities, earning potential and factors influencing income, strategies to maximize earning potential. I don't know this. I don't know if I can minimize this, okay, because I don't want to lose anything on my slide. Okay. So understand your field. So educators who are adaptable, innovative, and eager to learn new skills will always be in high demand. Are you ready to look out for the current tools that are available to you, that are available to us all in education? How well do you dip in to get all of these? Okay, so now career pathways and opportunities. Now, formal education will allow you to make a living. You've gone to school, you graduate, one private school picks you up, or you apply to them, and yes, they accept to give you the job, and you start working. You're going to make a living. They can pay you, even funny enough, what they're even going to pay you presently in Nigeria cannot even allow you to live comfortably. And I'm not even saying comfortably as per living in luxury, no, but even being able to afford 3 times meal 3 times a day for even yourself, because I am aware of some private schools that are still paying less than 40,000 naira monthly. And that same money, that's what you're going to enter transportation from. And you're also going to feed yourself. So let's do a quick calculation because I like to be practical. Now, if you do a quick calculation and you're having maybe, let's say, on the average, or you just decide to manage 700 naira to eat, maybe rice 400 and meat 200, and maybe beans 100 naira. Where we even see beans 100 naira, let me even be more realistic. Let's say 1,000 naira, of which even 1,000 naira plate of food cannot be enough for you. So let's say 1,000 naira times 3 in a day, that's 3,000 naira. And we have how many days in a month? That's 30. So 30 times 3,000 naira, that's 90,000 naira alone on feeding. And okay, now let's say, okay, you decide, or you want to do 010, or you want to even do only one time a day. At least you spend 30,000 naira on food. Okay, so but self-education will make you a fortune. Now, presently you're here, it shows that yes, you're ready to self-educate yourself. And trust me, we're all going to make that fortunes, and we're all going to dwell in fortunes by God's grace. So let's move on. Now, there are different pathways in education, and there are different opportunities that we have. We have teaching, we have ed tech. Ed tech is very deep and broad. We have administration and leadership, we have curriculum instruction, special education, higher education, private tutoring and coaching. And that's where the online teaching comes in. Okay, so let's move on. Now, any potentials and factors that's going to influence your income. Your educational level and your certification will always influence the rate at which you will get paid. Someone who is having SSC, they would definitely want to pay the person lesser. I had an experience. I got a job, and that was in Solid Heritage School, Beggar. And I was a fresh graduate. I was awaiting NYC, and I just didn't want to sit at home. So I applied for the job. I got the job. And eventually, when it was time for me to submit my credentials, I didn't have my my graduate certificate ready. I didn't have my BSc ED in Integrated Science Education ready. So I submitted just my SSC, and I made them realize that yes, I'd graduated, of which they are aware. They know it's not the knowledge of my SSC that I want to use in teaching their children. But what did they do? They decided to pay me based on my SSC, and they did not even just pay me the complete salary of my SSC. They even decided to slash that money into two. They didn't even consider the fact that maybe because I came in through degree, let them even pay the degree and slash it into two. No, they slashed the SSC into two. It was not even enough to cover my transportation. It was at that point I started feeling and realizing that is teaching really it for me. But because of my love for teaching, I was still in it, and I was still in the profession. I've had other experiences aside that too, where I was paid and offered less than 20,000 naira for a teaching job as a graduate. I did all of this job because why? We need experience too. So that takes me to experience and expertise. Your experience is going
Okay,
to...
sorry. One thing, Bisilola, your slides are not changing. Then
Oh, wow.
somebody says if you can put it on slideshow, so that everybody can see. I think if you go to the bottom of your screen, the very bottom, extreme right, you
I
see
don't know.
the
Maybe I'm actually, you're screen sharing. So maybe I should stop share, and then maybe I should try it again, because I don't know what's going on.
oh, okay.
Is it working now?
It's coming up. Yes, yes, yes. It
Okay,
is.
so what happened was when I went to slideshow, a new window was created. So that was what
Oh,
happened. So I don't know, maybe I
oh,
should just quickly rush through and let me see. So let
no,
me
it's
just
fine.
quickly rush through. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'm sure you already met me. I call myself the audacious teacher because I've taken some audacious steps in this teaching profession. It's not
Exactly.
every Nigerian comfortable to tell somebody in the abroad, and you're like, my fee is $15 per hour. And you're not even saying it and stuttering. So they know that, yes, people are paying at that rate. And calculate that. Imagine when you have more clients. I've not really been marketing. Why? Because by the time I say I should market, I may not be able to handle it. So I'm still in the growing phase. But trust me, I know what is in this teaching profession. So let's ride on. So I was just trying to explain the audacity in the audacious teacher to you. So yes, you need to understand your field, your career pathways and opportunities, earning potential, your earning potential and factors influencing income. So these are the things we're going to discuss about, strategies to maximize this earning potential. Okay. So I was talking about you understanding your field, and I was talking about you making sure that, yes, you stay updated, you gather all the knowledge that is involved, the new tools, the skills that you need, because the more skilled that you are, the higher in demand you would be. It's not debatable. So career pathways and opportunities. I talked about formal education is going to make you make a living, of which presently, even your formal education will not make you make a living in Nigeria. So, but self-education will allow us all make the fortune. So we need to keep on self-educating ourselves. Now, I mentioned the career pathways: teaching, edtech, administration and leadership, curriculum and instruction. And you see this area of curriculum and instruction, as silent as it is, a lot of we tutors, I'm presently looking for those that can design lesson plans for me, because I don't even have that time to create enriching learning lesson plans. I have some, but because of the wide range of learners that I have, I don't have time to really come up with PowerPoint slides for each of them. So we need people in that field. Some resources that we are trying to pay for online, we checked out education.com. Their resources were scattered. We decided not to pay. We've been using K5 and we've subscribed to K5, and yes, K5 has been serving us, but we need more, okay? Because we don't just want to limit ourselves to one resource. We're thinking of teaching now, and we are also considering twinkle.ca. So, but you see this area, honestly, if not that, I'm still thinking, maybe me myself, I may now come into this area and then maybe get other people that will be doing what I'm doing for me, so I can save myself, because I can't imagine where a particular website will be charging me almost $10 per month, and in a year that's that much, and it's a lot of money. We shouldn't be leaving money on the table. Like, our money should be within us. Let those abroad be patronizing them. So we should come up with we should keep our money in our circle. So let's dive on. Let's continue. So now I was talking about your education level and your certification, and I shared my personal experience with you that I was paid based on my SSE simply because I was not having that certificate. Anyway, I eventually went to go and get my to whom, and after even getting my to whom it may concern, and I came back and I presented it to them that I'd finished this program. They know very well it is not the knowledge of SSE I'm using to teach those children then. But in a way, I still bless God that I had the opportunity, because that was where I learned the sounds of the alphabet from. That later helped me fetch that home lesson that I charged 45,000 naira per month. And that was in what year? Before the year 2013. Yes, now, because I went for NYC in 2013. So I was earning that before my NYC, because I remember wearing my NYC uniform for that home lesson. So that brings about experience and expertise. There may be some jobs that you could just pick up. Why? Because you want to gather the experience, okay? And so you can also have something to show people that you're doing. So also your school type and location. Trust me, if you need to go and squat in one of your uncle's places, please do, if it's necessary. Except if you have strong internet where you are, that you know that yes, from any corner you are in the world, you can make money, even if you are in the urban area. Now, what are the strategies to maximize your earning potential? You need to focus on a niche. Search within yourself, what is that part that you know that yes, this is what you love doing. Focus on it. Now, I have Coach Fola. Coach Fola is the refined academic coach. What is our niche? I was thinking about not just the academics now, but how can I help my children, my pupils, my learners all around? And what she's offering came to my mind. Why? Because she has decided to focus on her niche. It would be very stupid of me to say I want to add the subjects that I'm teaching. I still want to add that one. So I will feel overwhelmed and I will get burnout. And the field of education is very wide. We just need to open our eyes and see the opportunities that are involved in it. And the funny thing is, every other person is making money from education except we teachers. So you need to tell yourself that I, as a teacher, am going to make money in education. So you also need to invest in continuing education. You need to develop your leadership skills. You need to build relationships and network. I'm here today because of the relationship Blessing has with me. So you just make sure you need to work on all of these things. Now, resources and support, you need to belong to professional organizations. I belong to the TRCN. As minute as it is, if I want to leave Nigeria now and maybe want to work in any of those places, this certificate is recognized. I know some people in Canada, they are trying to find how they can get this certificate here in Nigeria. They want to write the exams there. So don't joke with it. Get your own. Find out others too that you can get. Then mentorship and guidance. Your journey will be shorter. I, for instance, I am able to share all of these with you based on the well I've drank from, based on the mentors that I have associated myself with. So yes, e-learning platforms is like this because it's zoomed. So I'm sorry that this slide is not looking packed as it should. So, but we have Google Classroom, we have Google Meet, we have Zoom, interactive whiteboard, WhatsApp share screen sometimes, but please don't make WhatsApp your main line, your main thing for doing classes. No, please, it's not so professional. So you have Google Meet, you have Zoom, there is Teachable, there is Microsoft Teams. Now this takes me to the online teaching. You see this section here? I want to pour myself into you. I don't know why I'm doing this, because as at the time I'm speaking with you, my training on teaching online is 25,000 naira. The next batch is going to be maybe 30. One of my past students was sharing a post and she was like, the training will soon become 50,000 naira. Trust me, if I peg the training at 50,000 naira, you will still pay. Because by that time, evidence would have fooled everywhere. Now, evidence is not fooling everywhere, but there is evidence. There are students that we've taught GCSE that their parents are coming to say, wow, first attempt. My daughter is clearing GCSE, British English exams. We have people that IELTS, despite their busy schedules, they're able to still have a band score of 8.0 without having so much time to practice. And also, I have tutors that presently, they are earning 6 figures consistently, monthly, about 3 or 4 of them, just from this, my academy. I myself, there are months I hit 7 figures based on the fact that, it's not all the time that you're going to have clients. So open your mind, capture it, okay? And how can you start? You can start by volunteering. I don't joke with volunteering. My first online class I was paid just 15,000 naira. But what did I do? After that first class, you will see me, I'll take screenshots. I'll do this, I'll do that. Why? I'm gathering evidence. So, and I was putting it on my profile. I learned all of this. Okay, I learned all of this and I was implementing. So the problem sometimes is some people take courses and they don't implement. But when you implement, you would fly. Even what's her name? Ma'am Chioma on Facebook. She shares a lot of free stuff. Please, how many of us are implementing? Trust me, if we implement, you see that millions that she's gathering every month, we will gather it too. Where the work is in implementation. So find someone, volunteer. And when you volunteer, you can volunteer and just do it for free if you have the free time. Or you can volunteer at a very almost nothing price. But why are you doing this? You're doing it so that when you start telling people that I'm doing this thing, no matter what, people want to see, are you truly doing that thing? I've had people who had to go through my wall. And based on that, Dr. Deborah, when Leader Boluwatiwi was recommending me to her, because I happen to take Leader Boluwatiwi's son, who passed on last year. Though that's sad. And Well, I thank God that he was able to now do well in his maths exams, and he was beginning to love maths. And they were like, where had I been? And this was me. Leader Bolo knew I was a teacher ever since maybe the year 2013 or 2015 or 16 thereabout. Even the year 2020 and all of that. But she didn't know I teach maths. I just dropped a video sometime maybe in August upper year. And that was when she was like, wow, we'll be needing your service. Okay. And that was how I started with her. Well, I'm sharing all these personal stories with you, not because of I don't have theories to say, but because I don't want to come up here and just say, oh, it is God though. And I'm like, he's God and we're all God, God, God. And you're not really getting the practical steps that I take or where the connections, where they came from. There is something I believe in. The dots will always connect. The dots will always connect. So eventually, I took the son and he did very well. He did very well. And they were like, wow, they wished that they had met and they had known that I teach mathematics since. Because I realized that children were finding mathematics difficult. Why? Because some of them could not interpret the word problems. So that was why I set out as maybe let me teach English. But later on along the line, I realized that this English, because no be my native language, and I was not having so much strength in it. So, and I just dropped that video on maths out of the fact that I was teaching my new Canadian students that I got maths. And how did I even get that Canadian student? My volunteering lesson, a parent came and she saw me doing that. And she saw how passionate I was about helping her own child. Not a child, but she has taken the person as a child. And how I wanted the person to learn. And eventually, she relocated and she was having a master's. She happened to also be a teacher in Peak Lane then. So she could not take a Canadian student again because of the master's that she was doing. So eventually that was how she now recommended me. So I just did the video out of, this is me. And that was how Leader Boluwa TV reached out and said, wow, we'll be needing you for maths. And eventually when Dr. Deborah too needed a maths tutor for our daughter, Leader Boluwa TV put up my name there. And what did she do? She went through my profile. Eventually, she said, because she had seen that this is what I do. So it was easy for her to, yes, rely on me. Today, Dr. Deborah's daughter, who hated maths and did not want to ever be near maths and was failing maths, now, as at her last exam, she became third in mathematics. Now she wants to become a maths teacher. Focus on your niche. Find that connection that you will have with all your students. I am one person that no matter how you think maths is, I can make maths to become easy for you, and then you love maths, and then you can now maybe start thriving on your own. And that's why I said sometimes my income is not consistent because I'm not the type that I feel, let me just be doing the lesson with you small, so you keep on paying me forever. No, if I feel that yes, your child can set out on their own and succeed on their own, I'll tell you. And except maybe for cases whereby you feel, okay, no, just for consistent engagement, continue. And that is why I have like 2 families now that have been consistent since August upper year. You see me saying upper year now because you're already in 2025. So imagine when parents have trusted you for that long in their children's learning. So the first thing I said is what? Volunteering. The second thing is you need to learn this online teaching skill, the arts, okay, the heart of it. And I don't know if you people are aware. Okay, I think I can stop sharing my slide now. So we're going to just dive into 1 or 2 practicals. So we are all going to go to the whiteboard on Zoom, just as you are on Zoom. I don't know, some of you are not even aware that you have whiteboard on Zoom. So if you're using your phone, search for whiteboard. It is on your phone too. You can use it. So network may be slow. It might take a while, but just load. Okay, let me read through the chat before I continue so I can also hear from you.
I think we can take that question later. He's asking about what to do to get online clients. But if you have been listening to her, I think she already mentioned something like volunteering. But maybe we can have
Okay,
some time
where to get,
after our
let me just
chat.
quickly take it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, yes, okay, to be specific on what to do to get online clients online, where to get certificates required to volunteer and be hired. Okay, okay, fine. I'm not just sharing my wins, though. I guess you're missing it. My personal experiences I was sharing was you showcasing yourself, blowing your trumpets. There are some silent messages in my personal experiences. Okay, you need to blow your trumpets. That's the thing. Your social media is your new CV. Put up yourself, go visible, let people know what you're doing. Those are the messages in it. Okay, those are the messages in it. So sometimes when people, anyway, it takes some level of, that's why sometimes when I'm in some trainings now, I grasp more from it than before. Okay, yes, I'm not trying to just share my personal experiences. No. Okay, so in itemizing it, you were asking about being specific to get online clients online. There is Nigerian teachers there. There are times that some people will come and they will tell you they need teachers and all of that. You can drop your comments there and they can reach out to you. But when they reach out to you, will they see anything on your timeline to show that yes, this is what you're doing? So that is it. So also there is what's it called? I think there was particular course I took on Coursera. So you can take some courses like that on Coursera and you'll be able to learn how to teach online. Online spaces is very rich. Okay. Then what else again? Certificates. Once you're an educator, that's the major certificate you need. Okay. And to volunteer, when you want to volunteer, you can volunteer to maybe your uncle's child, or your friend's child, or anybody that you feel that this person needs this offer. And while you're teaching, you're taking records of it, you're taking screenshots that you'd later share. Okay, when you're in class, you take screenshots and you share. Okay, so we have Zoom. And I can see that some people are already making very beautiful things on it. So you have the shapes, you have the pen. The first one there is the pen, where you can use to write. You have highlighter, that's sticker. So you have the eraser, which you can use to erase whatever you've done. You have the text, you have the comment. So there is a whole lot here on Zoom. So Zoom is a platform that you can use to teach. When it is for 40 minutes if you're using the free version. And the reason why I like Zoom interactive board is because my learner can write in real time and I can correct. Okay, so you can move to the paid version whereby you pay more than 40 minutes. Okay, whereby you can use more than 40 minutes. Because some learners may not be able to join immediately and all of that, and it could be disrupting your classes. So you can move on to the paid version. So that's how to use Zoom. On Google Meet is very good. Before now, there was an interactive whiteboard on Meet, but presently, I think it's Figma that is joined to it, that is attached to it. So you can go on your research and learn more of that. So basically, my goal here is to let you know that earning so much is possible in the online space. The online space is a space whereby, based on the value you bring, you can say that, yes, this is what you want to get paid. Okay, then there is something I'm missing. Yes, referral is important. I have grown through referrals. I have grown through referrals. I'm not doing any major, you will not see me doing any major adverts. But to the glory of God, I have presently one client I'm trying to close a deal with. I just closed the deal last week. We resumed this week. So the thing is this, show yourself, just be visible. Let the world know that this is what you do. There are other platforms too. There is what's it called? And also this same Zoom, you can react. There are reactions there. You can react. You can let your learners know that yes, you love what they are doing. You can have love reactions there. You can celebrate them. Ta-dan. So you can make use of all of this to make your class interesting. The online space is not boring. For Zoom, there are other apps too that you can use. Okay, there are other apps too that you can use. There is timer there. There is music. You can put a background music. There are virtual backgrounds. Maybe you're in a place and you don't want your video to be on. For me, I'm not camera ready because I had like about 2 classes before this session and I'm not even feeling too good. But because I've kept my word and I'm not God, but at least I try to make sure that yes, if I've given my word, I show up. So yes, you can also time your learner. You can give them time that, okay, this particular exercise, they're seeing the timing and they're working towards it. So any other questions? I guess I can take questions now.
Yes, yes, we can take questions now. So if you can type in the chat box, or you can even unmute your mic if you have a question. Yes, I think we still have some time. Yes, we still have some time. Yes. So you can unmute your mic and just ask your question. Thank you so much, Bisilola. I can't thank you enough. What you just shared with us today, they are golden. I mean, they are really golden. Okay, so this is an opportunity for so many people who have been, thinking, I want to go into online teaching. Yes, so you have the opportunity now to just talk and ask your questions before our presenter
Okay,
leaves.
I can be reached. You can just search up Bisilola Ajala on Facebook and you can send me a DM and I'll drop my phone number in the chat so you can send me a WhatsApp message.
Yes,
So
that
you
would be
can connect with
perfect.
me, Bisilola Ajala on Facebook.
Mhm.
Okay, so I can see all the certificates that you have. This is good. The digital teacher. So I don't know the subjects that you can teach. So what subjects can you teach? Okay, if you have the certificates, maybe you can partner with some people who are already into the teaching, what's it called? Into the teaching field. Maybe they're already established, they have their academy, they're registered and all of that. And maybe if they need your service or when they need your service. So UNESCO is good, certificates is good. But you see, beyond certificates, people want to see what you do. Forget the certificates. Beyond this, what can you do? I personally have a certificate in educational technology, master's from Unilag. I have my undergraduate from there too. I didn't pay for the certification for the course I did on Coursera, but the knowledge I gained from it, yes, I know that yes, is helping me. So beyond the certificate, what subjects do you teach? Okay, biology. Yeah, biology is good, and biology is a core. People need what's it called? People need science students. People need science teachers, rather. Science students need science teachers. So come up, don't just like for instance now on your social media platform. I'll keep on saying social media platform because it is the permissionless way. The competition is high. Trust me, the competition is high. So you come up and you start letting us understand why biology is important. And you're not just coming us to teach us biology directly. Nobody wants to learn that. You see a Aproko doctor does not come and start giving you all the science behind. He will just come up with one story, just throw it, and before you know it, you realize, in a way, consciously or unconsciously, you don't want to just leave your plastic bottles in the car anymore. You don't want to drink, just use drink because of the sunlight and all of that. So you just come up with ways that, how can I make my audience relate to this thing? How can they need this thing? You can also design, I mentioned it earlier here now about curriculum. You can design lesson. If you know how much we need rich lesson plans, you will not joke with, or you will not say you are not having a job as a teacher. You're very good in this subject area. You can create a rich lesson. And I'm not just coming with, I don't want lesson plans of the students should be able to just putting stories and all of that there. Teaching has gone beyond that. You can also even come up with creating YouTube channel. Okay, if you have YouTube channel and you're doing that. Okay. So yes, African languages, you can come up with short videos. There is this man, what's his name? He interviews people and then they try to maso Onyibo, and they try to speak only Yoruba language. And in speaking that Yoruba language, maybe their money is either increasing or decreasing and all of that. You can come up with things that you can do. Okay, you can come up with things that you can do. Blow your trumpet, blow your trumpet, blow your trumpet. Okay, yes, if you're teaching people outside Nigeria, I mentioned it earlier. For me, I use K5 Learning. K5 Learning is free and is rich. But K5 Learning, I think, is limited to worksheets and fine, but it's not in a lesson plan format. It's not in having maybe teaching format. So you must already know how to teach that particular topic, and then you're just using the worksheet as a guide to help your lessons. Okay, and they have some very good comprehension too. So once you can check the website. You can check the website. There are a whole lot. In my training, I shared resources, and even the resources are not exhaustive. And AI is there now. So curriculum is just where it's even type AI, give me curriculum in Canada. AI supplies it. So you see, that's what I'm talking about. You see that curriculum and materials. It is one, even presently, ever since ages, people have been struggling about instructional materials. We are still struggling with instructional materials. But the beauty is the internet has made it very easy for us. So you can pick up a video. Today now, I taught one of my learner rounding. She didn't get it. I taught it again. And I just felt, okay, let me get a video from YouTube. I have not created mine. I just picked. It's free. It's available. I can copy the link. I can share it. And I sent it to my learner. I attached the worksheet on K5 Learning to read. I'm sure by the time he or she does that, okay, and then by the time he or she has done that, then the child still doesn't get it. I'll know what to do next. Okay, I'll know what to do next. So it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Blow your trumpet. You can't joke with that. Blow your trumpet. Just blow your trumpet. Any other question? Blow your trumpet, volunteer, get familiar with the tools that you need. I've shared Zoom with you. There's Google Classroom. Google Classroom helps you to organize your learners and all. You can create forms. I have not exhaust Google Classroom yet. I'm just still finding my way around it. So I'm not going to share much on that. When I had my training, I invited an expert, Uzoma Muama. I invited and she was the one that handled that aspect. So, but I've been busy with other things. Okay. So that's why I've not been able to. So I realized that we're having people from other countries here. So I'm going to share my phone number again, attaching the country code. I'm waiting for your questions. Remember, don't joke with relationships. I said that because relationship would help you. It's the relationship that you have that will make people even remember you, to recommend you. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like BC agreed to come here for free. She told you already that on a normal day, she would charge nothing less than 25,000 naira for this training that we just had now on a platter of gold. You know, so she accepted to do this for me and for us, you know, and I'm so grateful. And I'm sure many people here have benefited. Yeah, in so many ways, not just one way or the other this time, in so many ways and more. Okay, I see someone's hand up. Imbeche Eunice, you can go ahead and mute your mic and ask your question.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm actually encouraged and motivated to start with the online teaching, even though I have no basic knowledge on that, but I'm going to learn that. You did mention about this particular, is it a website? You called it Coursera. I would like to know if it is actually free, if I could study any program there free of charge. That's my first question. And then the second one is that you mentioned a certain woman, by name, is it Mama Choma, that she gives insight on online thing. I don't know if I got you right. Well,
okay, yes. Are you through? Can I respond now?
I don't know. Let me just learn. I don't know if she has maybe a YouTube channel whereby we could follow. I could follow her there by watching her video and then maybe pick up from there. I'm sure those are just the two things, the two worries that I have. Thank you.
All
Yeah,
right, okay.
Bisilola, please can you stop sharing your screen now?
All right, okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So for your first question about Coursera, learning to teach online on Coursera is free. And trust me, what you're going to even get there is not how to create meeting links, how to I think I assumed that a lot of us here already were already familiar in that aspect, because when someone was like how to get clients, so I just felt maybe everybody already knows how to create meeting link, how to. So on Google Meet, you can create your meeting link. When you go to the Google Meet app, you create your meeting link, you share it with who you want to teach. For Zoom too, you create your link, you share it, and when you share it, you just teach normal, face to face, just the way you teach in a traditional classroom. If you feel you cannot make use of the whiteboard and all of that, or you're not comfortable writing on the PDF files, you can have a traditional board behind you, and you're using the traditional board to teach too. So it also works that way too. Now, when I mentioned Ma'am Chioma Ifanyeze, she's a teacher and she's an accountant. Trust me. But she being an accountant, I think I've learned from her. I think the reason why you're hearing my voice this vibrant, despite the fact that I've been working since, is because of what I've learned from Madam Choma. Madam Choma would tell you, don't go to a place sleepy or slaggy or come up with your energy. You want to feel your vibes, okay? So I mentioned she's not a she's not an educator, but she's a teacher. Okay, so the educators you can follow Arowolo Olusegun, you can follow Taiwo. If you go to the concerned parents educator, there are a lot of them. You can even follow Isia Kalu. I can't remember her name. Blooming Kids House Academy. You can follow Abdulaziz. What's his name? Flying Colors Academy. So there are a lot of educators out there that you can follow. Okay. So, but the reason why I mentioned Mam Choma is because there are some times that she just drops some business ideas that if we implement those business ideas, we'll be thriving in millions. There was a particular day that she dropped a template for online teachers, what you can earn, how you can even earn it and everything. Just check her up. She's on Facebook. She's on Facebook as Choma Ifeanyeze. Okay, you can check her up. You can also check her up on our YouTube channel. You can follow. You can also follow her on Instagram. She is a data entry teacher. She organizes trainings and on data entry. So I don't know. Maybe there may be somebody that may need that here. So I took the training. Though I've not completed my training yet. God will help me. So that's part of what I'm talking about. Creating time to implement, complete, and all of those things. So have I been able to answer your question?
Actually, it means I will have to do a research on that. Maybe the names, because I'm not in Nigeria. I'm in Cameroon. You have mentioned a lot of them. I don't know any of them.
Okay, let me type the name in the chat so you just check her up.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very, very much. Thank you. Yeah, so this is a meeting where we have people from all across Africa and even even outside Africa. So it's not restricted to only Nigeria. So apologies that you've been hearing about Nigeria in Nigeria in Nigeria. That's because Bisilola
I'm
is
a Nigerian.
Nigerian. Yeah, she's Nigerian, and we are going to speak from our context here. But I'm very sure that all that she has said, you can apply it anywhere in the world. Yes, it works anywhere in the world. Put yourself out there, advertise yourself, blow your trumpet. In fact, how did I get to know about BC? It was from Facebook. Yes, we went to Unilag together. Yes, we went to University of Lagos together. But I didn't really know what she was up to till about sometime last year because I wasn't a very friendly person on Facebook. I'm not really a friendly user, or should I say I wasn't, but now I think I am. So sometime last year I just noticed how she was always posting things related to education, teaching online. In fact, I even had to buy one of the products. But God forgive me, I've not been able to still have enough time to go through all of those materials till now. So I was very motivated and inspired when I saw what she was doing, and I reached out to her. Oh, we see, and I told her what I do. I would like to even have you. We've been on this webinar since last year, and I think I've been the one, trying to find a good time because of my schedule, which could be very, unpredictable sometimes. So I've been trying to find a good time to have her, and she has been so willing, so cooperative. You know, the moment I told her, oh, I wanted to come talk to some people, she accepted right away. So you should put yourself out there. Let's know what you're doing. Because if she didn't say what she was doing on Facebook, there's no way. Fine, I've always known her before now, but I wouldn't know exactly what she's doing right now. And to the extent, she's doing so much. And I know that she's also I don't know if she has stopped the classroom teaching, because I know I saw her one time, teaching some,
I'm still in the
so
classroom. Oh. That's
so
why
she
I'm
just
not doing marketing for online that much. Online is
uh-huh.
like a side. I still work with Lagos State government.
Wow, you
So
see. So nothing like, oh, I don't have time. I go to work because I see her and I think, how is she able to, blend all of these things? She's a classroom teacher, she's an online teacher, and she does several other um things. She also trains other educators, like she's training us here today, you know. So there is no excuse at all. She said she has been in the classroom before now. Even if I may shock you, I also run a reading club, but mine is actually free for children all across Africa. I have a free reading club and I have so many volunteers. In fact, as we speak right now, classes are ongoing. I'm getting the messages coming from the different classes. Classes are ongoing, for different children all across Africa. And I've also taught children since 11 a.m. I've been teaching on Zoom, before this webinar. So there is no room for laxity or no room for laissez-faire attitude that you say, oh, I can't keep myself. If you really want to make this money, apart from even making the money, like the reading club I'm doing, I'm not making money from it. If you really want to leave a lasting impact, in your generation, so that when your name is mentioned, you can be remembered for something good, then you have to sit up. You can't sleep on your bed for 10 to 12, 15 hours. You can't do that. Thank you, Bisola. I can't thank you enough, for all of these things that you've shared with us today. So inspiring, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We still have messages dropping. Maybe we can just take one more. What other
okay, yes, she was
challenges?
like, what other challenges can either securing clients apart from being referred?
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
let me. I'm sorry, I'll still use personal experience because I don't just want to come and start telling you God, God, God. No. Okay. There was a particular time that I was not consistent with my classes because I had a client in Dubai. Okay. Is it Dubai or Saudi Arabia as at then? And they were 3 hours ahead of Nigerian time. And she would still have to attend Arabic classes. Fine, I was already free at work, but public school, usually our classes for Friday, not even that of Fridays, even that of during the week, because the time that she's available for class is, let's say, 2:30 p.m. And fine, I'm through at school, but I have to wait in school because then I didn't even have enough money to say another person should not be picking my children. So I was doing school runs myself. So I had to go back. And as at that time when I'll be teaching, there will be a lot of background noise. Public school children, they are still playing ball in the compound. And I'm like, leave this place, leave this place. So all of those background noise affected my classes. And for a while, I was out of business. Because that my friend she could not keep on telling me that your background noise is much, then timing, I wasn't consistent. And there are some times that I could be in a training, I couldn't really because of the difference in the time. So now I do more of clients that we are ahead of them. For someone maybe who is not working in a classroom, the person can take clients that are ahead of Nigeria. But for someone like me, I prefer taking clients that Nigerian time is ahead of theirs. Like we have clients in Canada, in USA. So we're taking them by 11 p.m., 10 p.m. Nigerian time. I'm already back from work. I've already slept, I've relaxed, and I'm up to have my class. But if it were to be the ones that they're behind, that's like their own 5 o'clock is my own 2 p.m. I'm still in school. The whole environment is still noisy. So background noise can either background noise, your internet connectivity. Okay, you need to be sure that yes, you have about 2 or 3 internet connections. Now I've changed my location, but I think my internet is still pretty good because I had to leave the room. So you just have to invest in all of these things.
Yes, 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 exactly. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. It's been, a very inspiring time with you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. At least if I can't pay you enough, I should be able to thank you. And I know the thank you is not enough. And I'm sure everybody here is also very thankful and very grateful from your comments I see. And you've dropped phone number, so I'm sure they can reach out to you with the +234 at the beginning for Nigeria code. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Now, this is just the end of the first session. Okay, we've had Elizabeth talk to us about skills for creative writing and comprehension. And now we just learned about online teaching and how to grow our income, two in one package. I mean, so thank you very much for being patient and for staying with us and joining today. If we have more colleagues, we are not ending yet till about 7 p.m. because our next session will start by 5. We still have another session about 21st century ICT skills for teachers. And we also have another person, Mrs. Medicme, who is an education consultant, talking to us, talking to young learners, especially teachers who teach young learners, about how to teach reading and writing skills to young learners. So it's a full day of learning and professional development. So we're going to go on a break for 2 hours. This is about 3 o'clock now. And by 5 p.m., we are coming back again. Yes, to join Chimelight and Jeremy Dupin for their sessions. I hope to see you again in 2 hours. 2 hours, please. And go tell all your colleagues what you've been learning and tell them to come join us by exactly 5 p.m. Nigeria time, which is going to be 4 p.m. GMT. Thank you very much. And I'll see you again. All our presenters this morning. Thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you, Bisilola. Thank you again and again. Thank you. All right. I'm going to end it for now and see you in 2 hours. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you.